Għal darba oħra nsellmilkom u nerġa' nistidinkom biex tkunu magħna fil-programm Wow flimkien miegħi Ġożef Ċapparo l-ħabiba tiegħi Beverly Rimmer. Illum se nkomplu nitkellmu ftit ieħor fuq is-suġġett li qbadna l-aħħar darba. Nittama li ħafna minnkom ipprattikaw dak li għedna. L-aħħar darba Beverly saqsitkom, qaltilkom dil-ġimgħa tatna xogħol x'nagħmlu fejn qaltilna kull min jistaqsikom kif int fittejt tajjeb ħafna u tgħidha ċerta forza. Dawk minnkom li għamluha ibqgħu għamluha ħalli tibdew taraw dawn it-tip ta' riżultati. I am reminding our people, hello my friend, how are you?
I'm good.
Great. It's always so good to be here. So, yeah, I am reminding the people of the work that you asked them to do during the week, you know. So to give a different answer to what they normally do.
Yeah.
So whenever anybody asks them how they feel, they would answer very well. Now, and we finished the program mentioning about the power of the word.
Yeah.
And after the program, may I remind you, you mentioned a very interesting correlation, which is used in English, to the spelling of the word. Can we share it with our viewers, please?
Okay, so spelling, it's how we write the written word. It's called spelling. I always thought it was fascinating because spells and magic. And when you do some history lesson on where the word spelling comes from, it's the same, you know, so it's about creating different things, different letters, different meanings of words, bringing them together to create a powerful spell, literally. And a spell is something that has an effect on something else. So words are powerful. So a positive word has a positive effect. It's like magic. A negative word has a negative effect. Again, like magic. And these words, I mean, I'm a buff for understanding where words originate from. But I found it really powerful in the exercises I give people. So I'll say, be mindful of the words that you're using. You know, okay, I'm fine.
Great.
Is different to I feel really good. You know,
yes.
I feel amazing today.
Yes.
You can feel the power, the magic behind that.
Yes. Mela, xtaqt ħafna l-lum Beverly taqsam magħkom din l-idea illi konna qegħdin niddiskutu propju wara l-programm li għamilna l-aħħar darba. U bqajt iżomma f'moħħi. Għaliex għamlet il-paragun ta' aħna bl-Ingliż ngħidu spelling. Le, meta għandna kelma u aħna rridu naraw kif dil-kelma mhix xi malmula. Mela hekk għandek il-kelma yes hija Y-E-S, spelling. Il-kelma spelling fiha nnifisha għandha l-kelma spell li fl-Ingliż tista' tfisser li qed tagħmel spelling ta' kelma. Jew għandha ċertu maġija to put a spell on somebody. Titfa' dil-maġija fuq xi ħadd. U allura kienet tgħid li skont il-kelma li ngħidu se sseħħ dil-maġija. Jekk dak li qegħdin naħsbu għandu kliem li qed jivvajbrejtja frekwenza li nieżla mill-ħsieb tagħna l-emozzjoni għal frekwenza biex tgħaddi fis-sistema ċellulari u tal-organi tagħna u hija tajba, tajjeb ħafna. Le, se nagħmilha. Kif x'għandek ħsieb illum li da xi ħaġa li se nasal għaliha żgur di ċertezza, dil-assertiveness, allura inti awtomatikament magħha di qed iġġor dil-maġija, das-seħer. Bil-kontra, jekk inti tgħidtu x'nagħmel jiena llum u leħejja nifqu li ma tantx qed inħossni tajba. X'inhi l-maġija li se ġġor magħha din? Maġija negattiva, maġija tqila, maġija li missa twaslek ħafna fil-ħajja. U allura, jekk aħna qegħdin nifhmu kif dil-frekwenza se taffettwana għax jekk tajba hija tajba minn ġewwa u terġa' tiġi lura u tkun aħjar, terġa' tiġi lura u tkun aħjar. Jekk inhi ħażina, terġa' tiġi lura u tkun itqal. U terġa' tiġi lura u se tkun itqal. Sakemm tajjina tant li bil-kemm inkunu nifilħu nitkellmu. L-istess iċ-ċelloli li għandna ġewwa li jiffurmaw aħna minn aħna.
It's amazing. You know, one of the words they use in medicine for this magic effect is the placebo.
Oh yes,
effect.
a very interesting word.
And the placebo effect is when you believe something will help you.
Yes.
All right? And it does. So, for example, you could have depression, which is a genuine medical condition. And you're given a pill for depression. And you are told this pill, you take it every day, and your depression will go away. And if you believe in the pill, and you take the pill, and the depression goes away, it has been scientifically proven that the pill could be a sugar pill. Nothing in it except sugar. But the depression went away.
Still leaves.
Placebo effect, the belief in the cure was the cure.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mela, qed saqt titkellem fuq xi ħaġa li hija interessanti wkoll. Dik li aħna ngħidula il-placebo effect. X'inhi placebo effect? Meta inti din jagħmlu ħafna xjenzati fuq esperimenti li jagħmlu. Mela inti kollok pereżempju żewġ gruppi ta' nies illi tatna l-eżempju ta' depression. Illi pereżempju jkunu għaddejjin minn momenti ta' ansjetà ta' depressjoni. U grupp minnhom jagħtuhom għax dawn jagħmlu li l-ħin kollu jridu jieħdu l-pinnoli, jagħtuhom il-pinnoli u dawn ħajjithom jiffurmawha fuq din il-pinnola li jekk mhux se jeħduha mhux se jkunu tajbin, li se taffettwhom. Lil grupp ieħor li kellu l-istess sintomi, l-istess ħaġa li qed ibatu minn, tawhom ukoll pinnola, imma fil-verità fil-pinnola li tawhom ma kellhom xejn il-fzokkor. Ir-riżultat għaliex il-moħħ qed jgħid li dil-pinnola qed tagħmel dil-maġija kollha, sabu illi fil-verità dawk li kellhom il-placebo effect kellhom effetti pożittivi ħafna. But are we saying here that we can actually say we don't need medicine?
No, I think what we can say is that we do need belief, and
Yes.
a good belief.
Okay.
Placebo effect had only for decades has been known about, but in the area of mental health. And only in the last 6 to 10 years have scientific experiments been done to see if this stretched to physical health. Right?
Okay.
And that's been happening now over and over again. I've mentioned to you before, there was a great experiment done in Italy about 2 years ago, where a cardiothoracic specialist, surgeon, and cardiothoracic surgery is one of the most painful surgeries you could ever have. After the operation, he separated his patients into 2 groups. Both of them had a line coming in their arm with saline and morphine. All right, so both sets of patients in recovery after the operation had the same medicine. The only difference was group A, he went to and spoke himself, went to the bedside. How are you? How are you feeling? How is your pain? And then he took a needle and said, this is morphine. And they watched him put it in their line. And their pain was measured. And their pain came down. The second group, he never went to the bedside. They did not know they had been given morphine. And their pain was very high, all of them. So this is one of the first experiments that absolutely, hands down, was proven that what we believe can change the chemicals in our body.
Yes, it's an edit plus, a very good edit plus to what is given. Mela jien saqsejt ovvjament qed ġifieri aħna qegħdin ngħidu illi allura l-mediċini m'għandniex nagħmlu qalet le biex hekk. Illi qed tgħid huwa illi il-mod però ta' kif aħna nippreparaw ruħna għal konvalescenza ta' dak li konna jaffettwa ħafna u hawnhekk qed tissemmu wkoll esperimenti li sar l-Italja fejn kien hemm speċjalista tal-qalb illi opera l-pazjenti tiegħu kellu żewġ tipi ta' pazjenti li huma li għaddew mill-istess esperjenza u kellu grupp illi tom il-morfina u kellu grupp illi kol kienu qed jieħdu l-morfina għal dawk kien qed imur ikellimhom kif intom u kemm qed morru tajjeb, etc. U l-oħrajn, you are saying that in both he gave the morphine.
Morphine was in the line.
Yes. Mela, il-medicina tom l-tnejn. Tom l-grupp A u l-grupp B. Il-grupp A però kien qed imur ikellimhom u jgħidhom kemm sejrin tajjeb u xi progress se tagħmlu. Meta kienu eżaminaw il-livell ta' uġieħ li kienet iħoss grupp A li hu kien qed ikellimhom regolari u jħeġġiġhom u jinkoraġġihom u jgħidilhom ara din il-morfin sentilkom illum. U l-oħrajn illi ġas kienet jom il-morfina u speċi kien ħallihom jipproċessaw il-ġisem jipproċessaw waħedhom. Il-livell ta' uġieħ ta' grupp A li kien ikellimhom u kien jinkoraġġihom u allura dejjem jgħidlhom tara kemm sejrin tajjeb kien ferm inqas minn dak illi kienu qed jieħdu xorta l-istess ammont ta' mediċina imma ma kellhom l-ebda sens ta' inkoraġġiment. Mela, li juri ċertament illi dak illi il-moħħ qed jipproċessa qed jaffettwa l-ġisem fuq livell ċellulari. Issa qabel din l-effett ta' placebo kien nintuża fuq il-każi mentali biss. Min 6 snin sa 10 snin law sabu illi qalu isma' min jaf kif ikunu ppruvaw dal-placebo effect ħanaraw x'inhu x'inhu l-ammont ta' xogħol li qed jagħmel il-moħħ fiha dil-biċċa xogħol. U allura semmit dal-esperiment tal-kardjologu hemmhekk qed tagħti eżempju ċar. I can also recall a very, very interesting experiment that was done in education, where 2 classes, you know, there was an A class, let's call it an A class and a B class, or let's call it a red and a blue class. So one of them was the better class. Let's say that the red class was the better class in all along, you know, it was an A plus, you know. The other one was like a C average. In the beginning of the following year, you know, the experiment was this, that the 2 new teachers came in, and the head of school told the teacher of class A, she said, you know, this is an okay class, so, you know, you will move on with this. She said to the teacher, the B class, which means the class of the kids who were quite low in IQ. She said, this is the best class we have in school, and please, we need to make sure that it remains so. By the end of the year, the B class superseded the A class. Mela, just for me to translate. Mela, di u kol kien sar dal-esperiment. Ġo skola fejn kellek klassi u klassi tajba ħafna, klassi mhux daqshekk. Fis-sena ta' wara ġew żewġ għalliema ġodda. Il-head of school qalet lill-għalliem tal-iktar klassi brava, qaltlhom jien għandek klassi tajbin daw jimxu. M'għamlitx għaġeb fuqhom. L-għalliema l-oħra però qaltlhom dawn huma klassi illi huma l-aħjar li għandna fl-iskola. Ma kienx veru. L-għalliema għax ma kienx taf. Għaltila l-ħed, għaltila ġifiri nittama li sal-axħar tas sena daw ma jinżlux hemm minn dak il-livell. Għax l-aspettattiva, dak li stennit l-għallima minnhom kien ħafnola, sal-axħar tas sena din il-klassi kella marki ħafna ħjar mill-klassi l-oħra. This is amazing, you know.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. What you believe, especially with children, is what they live up to.
Yes,
so whether
yes.
they can or they can't, whatever you put in is what they're going to
U
do.
din hija importantissima li qed tgħid Beverly. Illi dak li aħna nistennew mit-tfal huwa dak li se nieħdu lura. What you sow is what you reap. Jekk inti l-tfal mit-ċokon tagħhom qed tallimhom u tħeġġiġhom u tgħidilhom kemm inti tajjeb mhux u tgħix merijiet u waqta ħawi daqska minn tareb u temmen fihom, turihom li temmen fihom u ibqa' ċerta li t-tfal meta ħajikbru b'ħafna iktar reżiljenza lihom illi jemnu fihom infushom. Is-self-belief prophecy. Inti emmen fik innifsek u l-affarijiet li inti tagħmel se jkollhom riżultat tajjeb. The minute you start believing in yourself, the results definitely
and you can see in life, you know, there's balance in all things. So with the placebo effect, there is an opposite to that called the nocebo effect, all right? And we can see that working as well as the placebo effect. And with children, it's the same thing, self-fulfilling prophecy. If you tell a child they can't, if you ban them to a lower group, if you stigmatize them, if you put a ceiling on what they believe they can achieve, that's all they will ever achieve.
Yes,
right?
yes.
That belief system works both ways. The same when you expand and you can become limitless. You can be everything you want to be.
Yes.
That is a child that grows in a completely different way.
Yes, yes, yes. U hawnhekk qed tgħidilna Beverly kemm l-iktar fuq it-tfal l-aħwa. Ejja nifhmu x'investiment irridu nagħmlu fit-tfal tagħna. Mela, l-istess bħal hemm il-placebo effect. Fejn qed tikkoraġġix bum. Il-moħħ qed jaħdem tajjeb. Għandek ukoll il-nocebo effect. U dana jiġri meta inti it-tfal qed tgħidilhom jew x'taħseb illi se ssir tarax kemm se tilħaq u m'hemmx kapaċi tagħmilha di ara x'inhu jpinġi x'ammarijiet. Armi dik il-karta x'marriċ imbarazz id-dar. U dejjem twaqqgħu tfal. U dejjem iġġelhom jemnu belief system. Iġġelhom jemnu li mhux kapaċi tagħtihom it-timbri, tajjarhom, tiskuraġġihom, tgħidilhom illi isma' sawg int ħikka għax aħna ġejjin minn familja ta' hekk xi tfisser. Inti individwu partikolari, individwu li iktar maħna nħeġġuhom u ngħidulhom le ħanin jiena sawrit nasal immint kapaċi tilħaq mhux daqsi u iżjed minni dak kollu li toħlom u dak kollu li jagħmillek qalbek kuntenta żgur li se jwasslek fejn trid int. U hemmhekk fejn qed tinsisti Beverly illi għandna inħeġġu kemm nistgħu. Aħna l-kbar li rridu nbidlu. It is us adults who need to change. Because unfortunately it is us who do all these mistakes. And then the kids, as happened with us and with our,
but it goes on, and you've got to break the cycle. Nothing changes till something changes. A really good example of the nocebo effect, in the cardiothoracic operation, those poor people who did have morphine but didn't know they had morphine had a nocebo effect. They had no pain relief at all because they didn't know it was going in.
Okay, so right? I need to explain this detail which I must have missed. So meta jiena tilkom fuq l-eżempju li tat tal-kardio ta' dak li għamel l-operazzjoni fil-qalb it-tnejn li huma. Dawk illi kellu l-grupp il-A li kienet ikkellimhom jgħidhom għall-morfina u settinkom. L-oħrajn kienu qed jieħdu għall-morfina ma ma kinux jafu, ma kinux qalulhom li se jieħdu l-morfina u daw minkejja li kienu qed jieħdu l-morfina għax ma kinux jafu ma ħassew l-ebda differenza. U din hija l-istess ħaġa mela dan huwa nocebo effect. Meta inti ma tafx u laqqas moħħok mhux qed jirreaġixxi għal xi ħaġa li trida timxi l quddiem. U dawn huma l-affarijiet illi bil-mod qed nibdew narfu ħalli naslu biex nifmu is-saħħa li għandu dan il-moħħ li hu tagħna. Jien min issa nissellef, min issa morant nies biex ngħidlek jien naqra moħħok tagħna. U issa fit-tieni parti tal-programm se nitkellmu naqra iktar fuq fejn tista' twassal dil-forza u kif nistgħu nużawha aħjar. Ibqgħu magħna għat-tieni parti. Wow! Mela rġajna lura għal dan is-suġġett interessantissimu ta' x'għandna aħna ġo fina u kemm hu speċjali u uniku. U llum qegħdin proprju nitkellmu u narfu iktar il-forza li għandna f'moħħna u kif il-moħħ jista' jilgħab bina kif irridu. Jekk aħna nutilizzawh tajjeb se jaqdina. Jekk mhux se nutilizzawh tajjeb, se jservina ma mingħajr ebda effett. So, I am saying that today we're discussing this subject about how if we are aware of how to use the brain, the mind, it will serve us well. If we are unaware, it will still serve us, but with no such great effect.
I try and explain to people all the time. It's not a case of do you believe what I'm saying or do you not. It's irrelevant. This is happening 24/7. So whether you believe that thoughts create everything in your life or you don't, it's totally irrelevant to the outcome, you know? So the mind and body connection is a fact. And if you understand that and you understand that if you are the one creating those thoughts, all right, then you are the one creating your health.
So now we are using a very important word. So let me explain. Okay, mela, għattajdinna Beverly illi miex kwestjoni jekk inti temminx dak li qed ngħid jew li mhux qed ngħid. Issa hemm nies li dak ma nemminx da, ma importax mhux li qed temmen, imma li tifhem x'qed toħloq. X'qed toħloq int stess moħħok. Dak jekk inti qed toħloq realtà illi se tkun pjaċevoli, ir-riżultat se jkun pjaċevoli. Jekk inti qed toħloq realtà ta' doom and gloom, ta' kollox ħażin, ta' x'waħda din ara naqra fil-ġejna taf xiex, iktar minn da se jkollok. Iktar minn da għaliex għax il-moħħ il-ħsieb dak li nisimgħu jien meta qed nisma' qed nażel, qed narbel. Imma nistgħu wkoll inżid miegħu u nirranġah. Mela qed nikreah, qed noħolqu. Mela jekk jien qed nifhem il-proċess, jekk jien qed noħolqu b'mod tajjeb, ir-riżultat se jkun pożittiv. Jekk kienu qed noħolqu qed inżid u qed inwaqqas sabiħ tiegħu qed ngħidu u da kollu ħmerijiet u m'hemmx tal. Pop, naqa' llum, naqa' għada, naqa' pitada, sakemm fl-aħħar ma nkunx niflaħ inqum fuq saqajja. Li nikkreaw bil-ħsieb hija forza qawwija. That we actually create with our thought is so powerful.
Everything. Everything is created through thought.
And how do we program now? Or reprogram, actually?
It's about reprogramming, isn't it? Because if your subconscious mind is a collection, the programming in there is a collection of your entire life experience. Every experience you've ever had, and book you've ever read, movie you've ever watched, how you were raised, parenting, your political, religious belief. All of those things culminate to your programming. And that is in the subconscious mind, which we're not really aware of. All of that converts over to 10% of the conscious mind, which we are aware of. So if we want to change the reality of our life, the sickness we have, the mental sickness we feel, all right, or the life experience we're having, then we need to go back to the original programming, all right, that source code. And we can change and overwrite those belief systems, because it is a system in the body. So we can go in and identify ones that I call limiting beliefs, because they're limiting us in an area of our life, identify them, and then overwrite them. Deliberately, with intention, overwrite them. Okay?
طيب ملا اللي قد تيدنا بيفرلي هو اللي المخ سواء متى احنا عنا داو الحسابيات ام بروسيس اللي يكون قد يجري اللي الحساب كيف بدنا سيصير اموزيوني اما ينستقسيتا نستاو نريبروغراماو għaliex ġaġana kollha nitwildu ببروغرام كيف يزداد دا البروغرام من انفورماسيون اللي قد ناخذوا من كل يمكن فاميليا ريليجيون كنيسيا كومونيتà skola قاري اخباريات issa jiena kif nista fil-verità nipprogramma mela li jiġriju illi jiena minn dak li nisma' uħud minnhom sen narbilhom u jew se niżilhom fuq is-subconscious bħala xi ħaġa pożittiva. Jew se niżilhom bħala xi ħaġa negattiva. Issa, biex nibdilhom daw, irrid inkun sewwa konxja tagħhom. Nerġa' narhom u nikkoreġihom. U nibda naħseb b'mod differenti. Beverly, I normally love to give this image for people to understand this. I always compare the brain to a computer. Yeah? The minute I put in data, I'm giving in a program. It's a document, I'm giving in a program. I can either leave that as a saved file, and every time I look I go back on it, it's giving me the same information. Or else, I can bring it up at one point. And when I have a look at it, I say, oh, this is so stupid, you know, delete. You click a button and you delete.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can say, some of it is rubbish. You keep some, and you just delete the other part that you don't like, and you rebuild. I think
it's a really great analogy to give people. If you go deeper than what you've just said, so the computer, and if we think of it as the mind, all right, because the brain is an organ in the head, the mind, we cannot measure, it's infinite. So if we think of the mind as a computer, right, you and I, because we're not computer technicians, we know how to turn it on, we know how to open things like Excel, Word, but we have no idea all of the, I don't even know what it's called, the algorithms and the computer, digital speak. Now that is comparable to our subconscious mind.
That's right.
We don't see it. You and I don't see that on the computer, all right? Mm-hmm. Only if it breaks and the man comes and takes it away. He goes into that. A computer programmer would go into the real program. We just see the surface when we go in. And that's really the best analogy of explaining the mind. So if you want to change the program, you want to take maybe Word off and put Pro on, right? Then you've got to take the old one down, clean it off, and upload the new one. And run it and clean it and run it and clean it and optimize it every day.
Right. Mela, fil-verità jena tajt dan l-eżempju tal-computer, kif nipparagunaw il-moħ mal-computer, imma jekk irridu verament inħarsu fuq reprogramming, ejja nifmu naqrax illum il-biċċa l-kbira jifmuh dil-idea ta' computer. Mela, jien ninqeda bil-computer, ninqeda il-kelma, ma nafux kollu. Imma ninqeda, rrit nibat email, on, off, switch, Excel sheet, you know, document, PowerPoint, semmek nasal. Imma, żewġ affarijiet. One, jekk jiena ma napplowdjax, ma napdejtjax is-sistema kull darba, wara ftit żmien il-computer, il-laptop, il-hard disk tiegħi se tintela u ma taħdimx, ma tiffunzjonax tajjeb biżżejjed. Imma jekk kull darba qed naġġorna ruħi, allura se jaqdini ħafna ħjar. Issa, qabel Beverly tatna l-idea ta' l-ispiżjar u l-ispiżerija. Hawnhekk għandna il-computer li qed jagħtini li għandi bżonn nifhem. U min verament jaf x'fih u kif jista' idawwar il-programmi tal-computer, mela hemmhekk trid xi ħadd speċjali. Dban li inti qed tiltaqa' ma' xi ħadd speċjali li qed jgħaddilek propju din l-informazzjoni li qed ngħaddu, allura inti mbagħad tista' tibda tgħid mela naf x'irrid nagħmel, mela li rrid nagħmel huwa illi nieqaf narmi lili nnifsi, illi il-kliem li joħroġ mill-ħalq jrid ikun kliem illi jkollu ċertu pożittività fih, ċertu forza, ċertu assertività fih. Ifisser li jiena qed nelimina ir-realtà tal-ħajja ta' meta jiġru li affarijiet ħżiena, ħa naraw se tgħidilna Beverly. So, I am sharing with our viewers, okay, this analogy that we are giving, but so now I am also asking, for those people who are skeptical or for those people, you know, who find it, this is so, we are not trying to convince anybody here.
No.
But the logic of things, you know, is this. So, yes, we are now starting to understand that we can actually reprogram the mind. Does this mean that we will not be going through tough stuff in life?
No, we cannot control everything on the planet. But what we can control, and there's only really one thing that we can ultimately change, and that is ourselves.
That's
we
right.
cannot change anyone else. We cannot change world events. We cannot do any of those things alone. But we can absolutely, 100%, change ourselves.
A sage once told me, you can never change the world around you.
That's right.
It's you who has to change.
And so your perception of what happens to you, so a lot of people over decades of me working one-to-one with people will say, but Beverly, my husband made me feel bad. My child made me feel upset. My mother-in-law made me want to kill her. You know, always outside. No, this is an inside job. We cannot change those people or what they're doing or saying, but we can change our perception of it, how we are going to react.
Yes.
All right.
Mela, li huwa interessanti ħafna huwa dan. Jinsaqsejtek allura ġifieri dan xejn mhu se jibda jiġri ħażin għalt li le. Dak li għandu jiġri se jibqa' jiġri. Imma li se jinbidel huwa aħna. Irridu ninsewa l-idea li nwaħalax ir-raġel ġabni f'din l-istat, it-tifel għamilli hekk, in-nies ta' madwari, il-politikanti ġarluni naħseb. Insewa. L-affarijiet kienu jiġru għadhom jiġru se jibqgħu jiġru u mhuwiex fidejja jien li nibdilhom, imma hu fidejja li nibdel lili nnifsi. U jekk jien nibdel lili nnifsi, meta mbagħad se jkolli dawn in-nies illi normalment jiena malli jgħidulli kelma noqmos jien, nibda nitgħallem illi ħuj. Meta jien qed nippunta subajja lejn xi ħadd għandi tlieta jħarsu lejja. Mela, this is the story of pointing a finger towards somebody and you have three towards yourself.
It's absolutely an inside job. Inside job all the way. 100% you can control it. It's an inside job. And I think it's incredibly difficult to accept that because it puts the responsibility on us. But if the responsibility is on us, then it's incredibly empowering because we can do something about it.
Yes. Tajjeb, u hawnhekk qed tgħidilna xi ħaġa interessanti ħafna. Il għaliex qed tgħid Beverly illi meta aħna qed niftakru f'din ta' suba nibqa' xi tortija immem tlieta jippuntaw lejna. Dak qed ifisser illi jiena l-ewwel nett hija diffiċli ħafna għax daqqa waħden qed nieħu ir-responsabbiltà kollha fuqi m'għadniex m'għadx għandi minn il-mwaħħal u din lili qed iġġibni f'pożizzjoni fejn irrid naħdem biex naraf x'għandi nagħmel biex insaħħaħ lili nnifsi ħalli nkun kapaċi inħares lejn dak li qed jiġri madwari b'mod differenti. Imma malli jiena nibda nersaq lejn dak l-istat, lejn dik il-pożizzjoni ta' saħħa, imbagħad nibda naraf illi d-deċiżjonijiet mhux ħajbqgħu jaħduhom in-nies għalija, imma nkun kapaċi noħodhom jien b'saqajja mal-art u l-affarijiet ta' madwari ma nħalli l-ħadd jiddettali il-biża, ma nħalli l-ħadd jiddettali id-dubju, ma nħalli l-ħadd jiddettali l-inferjorità li għandi nħoss. Imma nibqa' nifhem li jien għandi dinjità u għandi moħħ biex dik id-dinjità nwassala. So actually I am saying, you know, this thing which is very powerful, that yes, of course, it's not easy, you know, to assume it. But once you do, and you take the responsibility, then you also have the power of decision.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it. You know, one of the exercises last week was instead of saying, I don't feel good, I don't feel very well, I'm tired, to stop all that, no matter how you feel, and to say you felt good. And the reason for that exercise was because you project a frequency and you will attract that frequency back from others. When that comes in, that frequency doesn't know you're telling lies. It goes into your cells and creates that as a truth. So before long, your energy is raised and you're starting to heal. I have seen people hold sickness in the body. I've seen people hold grief in the body, seen them hold debt in their lives, you know, because they have this mantra, this belief system, and they speak it constantly.
Yes, yes, very, very, very true.
And bring it back to the cells.
Yes, yes, yes. So, li għattajdinna unek Beverly huwa illi il-forza li aħna nużaw hija l-forza illi għandek ping-pong effect. Il-forza physics, you know, għattrajtu dawk il-blalen, kollem 3 blalen, tolqotaw, jerġaw lura bl-istess forza. Għalix? Għalix hija frekwenza, hija vibrazzjoni illi aħna qegħdin nitkellmu fuqha u aħna parti minnha. Mela, jekk aħna qegħdin nitkellmu fuq li l-affarijiet ingorru da. Meta jien qed nifhem illi jiena l-eżerċizzju li tatna ibdew jgħidu li qed inħossni tajjeb. X'qed jiġri hemm il-frekwenza, l-vibrazzjoni li aħna qed nitfgħu fuq ħadd ieħor qed toħloq ċerta forza ta' pożittività u qed tiġbed lejna nies tal-istess frekwenza. Il-ħaġa għedna li tibqa' għaddejja, ma taqafx hawn, tibqa' ddur. Mela mbagħad dik l-istess enerġija tajba ħadd tiġi viċin tagħna. Aħna ħanżidu magħha u se nħossuna aħjar. Meta qed nitkellmu se nużaw iżjed minn din il-forza. U nibdew naraw illi din tibda lilna taffettwana fuq dal-livelli ċellulari ta' organi u nibdew ukoll infiequ minn ħafna affarijiet illi otherwise konna ngħidu li mitlu fin fihom. U dan huwa ukoll parti essenzjali illi irridu naqdu ma dak kollu li nkunu qed neħdu bħala terapija. It's very important to understand that this understanding will amplify the healing process of any medicine, of any therapy.
You can't heal unless you think you can.
Okay.
And taking what I call inspired action really helps to shift your belief system from where it is now, which maybe you're not sure what we're saying is true, and wanting to try it to see. So we did body brushing a few months ago, all right, to stimulate lymphatic clearing. All right?
Yes.
Now, if you have a belief that you're clearing your lymphatic system and you're taking a brush and you're helping your cells to change along with your belief, then you're adding physical action, mental thought, a feeling to changing cells. Same with detox. If you flush your body, all right, as well as drinking different detox water and doing different things, that inspired action helps the belief, the new belief, to take up occupancy in your mind.
Yes,
all
yes,
right?
yes.
It's a daily practice. You've got to practice this through gratitude, practice this through affirmations every day to remind yourself.
Okay, mela, li qed tgħidilna ovvjament huwa xi ħaġa li faċli nifhmuha wkoll. Mela jekk tiftakru fil-bidu tal-programmi kienet qalmitna fuq il-body brushing kemm huwa importanti li nagħmluh għaliex jgħin ħafna fis-sistema linfetika tagħna. U jekk aħna ġas għaddejjin hekk, tgħinu. Imma jekk jien waqt li qed nagħmilha f'moħħi qed ngħid qed nagħmel dan l-eżerċizzju biex kemm jista' jkun nistimula iktar iċ-ċirkolazzjoni tad-demm u niftaħ iżjed is-sistema linfatika ħalli tkun tista' twarrabli it-toxins li għandi. L-effett se jkun ħafna ikbar. ħafna ikbar. U din hija purament dak li qegħdin ngħidu. Jekk aħna kuljum niddraw ngħidu inkunu iktar nuru l-apprezzament tagħna. Grazzi, grazzi, grazzi. Kif tiftaħ għajnejk? Mhux tiftaħ tgħid illum it-tnejn. Tiftaħ tgħid grazzi, tara l-affarijiet li hemm madwarek. Inti tibda timmaġina jekk inti għandek bżonn tagħmel mediċina, jekk qed tikol tajjeb. Ejt ara x'qed jiġri fil-ġisem u tibda tħoss li dawn l-affarijiet ikunu b'saħħithom immens u jaffettwaw il-proċess ta' fejqan tagħna. Illum bdejna nikkaverja u bdejna nitkellmu naqra fuq il-forza li jista' jkollna biex dak kollu li ngħaddu minnu f'ħajjitna ngħinuh għax għandna l-poter kif. Imma qed nitalmu kif. Il-programm li jmiss kunu magħna mela. Din il-ġimgħa se nkomplu nipprattikaw li qaltilna Beverly ta' jiena ħossni tajjeb ħafna. U bdew isimgħu x'tgħidu. U irranġaw, mela jekk jiena qed ngħid u iva ħanfittxu niklu, le. Sib il-ħin u kull u intu tikol ngħid grazzi ta' dan li kelli għandi. Sib naqra ħin, ħares mit-tieqa, ħares madwarek u ringrazzja il-ħin kollu l-univers, il-mulej ta' dak kollu li għandek. Ipprattikawha di. Hemmhekk inti qed titfa' vibrazzjoni differenti, qed twassala madwarek min qiegħed madwarek qed jirċivija. U inti tibda iżjed iġġib lejk nies li jgħinuk f'din il-pożittività. Kunu magħna l-ġimgħa d-dieħla għal programm ieħor. Wow! Flimkien ma' Beverly Rimmer nixtiequlkom ħafna fejqan, ħafna serenità u paċi f'qalbkom u qabel ma nagħlaq il-programm nixtieq passoltu dejjem nirringrazzja lil hairdresser tiegħi li hija Francis u lil Naomi tax-xogħol li jieħdu biex jgħinuni dejjem nidher tajba. Grazzi ħafna tar-rispons enormi li għandkom. Ibbatunna għajdunna fuq tixtiequ titkellmu u biex narfu dit-tieni fażi ta' detoxification importanti isma' li qegħdin nagħmlu. Saħħa u slim.